Who has a 100-word summary of all the trouble you guys got into last week?
Well, we got the crystal rod, made our way up the tower.
So we're swallowed by Leviathan.
Florian sacrificed himself for no reason.
What color would Florian's ray be if Minwu's is green?
I feel like that's a very personal question.
Can't admit I've thought about it.
Anyway, we came down here and we immediately met new friends, Minotaurs. Oh, also, Lucius is now on the hook. I distinctly remember Lucius is now on the hook for working for 10 cells after this is over.
I mean,
Wasn't that like the default anyway? Like, I don't know how that changes things.
yeah.
And we got aid coming down, and we're down here to solve the problem. We chose to come in to take the Widdershins up through a cave. And we met some Minotaur friends who we
Slaughtered.
Minotaur friends.
Well, I mean, to be fair, they did go all aggro on us.
Slaughtered.
I think in the entire combat I took one attack.
I should pull up my character sheet, huh?
Because I'm looking at my HP and it's fine.
Oh, we're saving these coins for later, I see.
Yes, and Lucius did gain a level at the outset of last session.
It's good.
And I took I have some new toys.
I took in direct opposition of like my stated personal thing of not taking Sentinel. I took Sentinel at 12.
I didn't
You
know
did
you had
it.
a stated personal thing of not taking Sentinel.
Yeah, why would you do that? Sentinel is really good.
Because everybody takes Sentinel.
That's fair.
I can't begrudge that. I played a Warlock and never took Eldritch Blast.
That's completely fair.
But like at this point, it's like okay, we're level 12, whatever. Like I think I've made my point. I'll just take Sentinel.
Really helpful to have Sentinel last session when all these Minotaurs were moving out of your threat range.
Yeah, and it's like seems like we take feats and class features like the session after. They would be extremely useful.
Well, that makes
Always
sense.
looking to win the last war.
Yeah.
I mean, not particularly because they kept. It's not like they were. I fought 4 Minotaurs and they just were fighting me. They didn't go anywhere else. It's like I'll fight this half of the Centaurs, the other 3 members, and Numac, you fight the other half of the Centaurs, Minotaurs.
I did have one issue I wanted to raise before we started. And I apologize. This should really be like an off-stream issue. I wouldn't want to air this in public, but we're already streaming, so now everybody gets to learn. What pixel font should we install for this campaign?
The Earthbound one.
Mr. Saturn, obviously. Mr. Saturn, obviously.
I was
Not
legitimately
that
worried,
Earthbound
Brick. I was like, oh, shit, what the hell is he doing?
Yeah, that's not the Earthbound font I was talking about. For reference.
Oh no! I mean, I'm lobbying for Mr. Saturn font. Come on now.
Sweak it in, font. Sweak it in, font. Sweak it in, font.
Years and years and years ago, we were doing a Secret Santa thing on Talking Time, and I designed like a wall calendar for my victim, right? And I put like I found out like what his 12 favorite games were, and I put a different game on each month. And I learned a lot about like layout work and graphic design and stuff. I used Adobe InDesign and did everything. And there was one of them was for Mother 3. So I had this this sunflower background with Lucas standing there, and I used the Mr. Saturn font for the name of the month. And I posted it, and a bunch of people were like, "Oh, that's really cool. I like this calendar a lot." And one asshole was like, "They don't use that font in that game." And that's the only criticism I can remember now when I think back to all that work I did. It's the only one that stuck.
The
They
Mother
very-
3 fan translation has that font,
Yeah,
so
they
suck
very-
it, nerd.
They do.
Wait, were they wrong then?
Yes, they were wrong. And
God!
we're talking
Fan
about-
translation.
This has been stewing in my head for literally 10 years. I can't
Well, I
get
tell
it.
you what, you have vindication.
You have been vindicated, Brick Road. Because there is a Mr. Saturn that appears in Mother 3, and Mr.
People
Saturn
have-
is Mr. Saturn things.
People have strong opinions about fonts.
As we have learned for the last
this.
week and a half.
Fonts and party member size.
5. Always 5.
Then you just go into the last battle with 4 ninjas and a devout. So what's next in this?
Yeah, that'd be great. Are you kidding?
What's? You couldn't afford that many shurikens. Come on.
Yeah, that's a lot of shurikens there.
I had 30 shurikens, and I had so many shurikens, Brick Road.
Okay, what's next?
So many shurikens.
So we're off of initiative from that last fight, right?
Oh
That's
yeah,
basically
you
where
guys.
we are.
I think you slaughtered. Hold on, I have an actual cat. 12 minotaurs. There
Did we use all the shurikens from that in that last fight?
There were 7 in one area, and then 5 that attack from another area if you have combat in the first area.
Pretty good. Maybe we can go find some more minotaurs.
Yeah.
Don't.
Which way do we want to go first?
Erase this web.
Either way, we're gonna leave our back exposed.
We want to go this way, or we want to check the edge of the map. There was a
I mean, I think we
path.
should.
No,
head
this
up
was
this
a
way.
this was not a path. This was a
Yeah, that was the Minotaur.
dead minotaur.
New Mac is pretty wounded, by the way.
Oh right.
This party's concern for Nunak never ceases to impress me.
Listen, Brick Road. Ohana means family.
And family means, like, finish the quote.
I actually just blanked on the rest of the line.
Listen, Brick Road, not all of us are Disney encyclopedias.
Ohana means family. Family means nobody gets left behind or forgotten. Except Florida.
There, yes, what you said.
So or forgotten. I seem to always forget. I'm not joking. Like I would have been able to remember all the rest of that, but
Y'all need to sit down and watch Lilo and Stitch. What's next?
yes, always. That's never a bad idea. That movie's fantastic.
Like so again, like west or we're just gonna assume this is north. So we're gonna go west or north.
Assume we're pushing
My opinion
north.
is north.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're gonna go up. Which direction?
I think it's best to go like maybe towards like these two side tunnels.
So this is a little alcove. Looking over at this portion of the cave where most of the Minotaurs attacked from, you have large stone pillars connecting the floor and ceiling here, and then many, many stalactites poking down from above. And as you come into this cave, it opens up and widens. And it's much, much taller than the tunnel you just came out of, to the point where the echo of your footsteps can ring across the cave.
If we can hear ourselves walking, do we hear anybody else moving around?
You hear lots and lots of different noises as you come into this area. And a lot of it is just auditory tricks that large caves play on your ears. And Lucius, as you come up around that way, you can see up to the north area of the cave behind this large spire.
Oh, okay. Do we need to take a moment to heal Numac? We were talking about our concern for Numac, and then we did nothing.
I mean, I can't pull the trigger on any of those abilities, so that's up
I
to
mean,
you guys.
do we need a lot of healing right now? I'm really trying to not burn through all the resources I have.
No, I
Unfortunately, I didn't bring a ton of
understand
healing.
that. Like, do we have healing potions to hand? Because I know I have some.
Let's see. I have a healing potion. Like when you say how much, like is he at like
He
Less
is
than
at 10 of
half.
38.
Oh.
I have 4 healing potions. I will go ahead and use. I will give Numac 1.
Numac, you need to kind of stay behind. Not stay behind, like stay in the back for a little bit.
Numax follows your orders.
I know. I know.
I mean, he
It's up to you to
positions-
physically move him where you want him.
I'm not driving Numac.
As you look north from your position, Gus, you see that the cave does begin to narrow back into a pair of tunnels along this exit.
All right. Gonna go around and around, and poke my head in this tunnel.
And there's a little entrance gallery here with this giant spire in the middle. And on the other side of it, it narrows into 2 different tunnels, one leading forward, one leading off to the right.
So I'm assuming this goes off.
You get forward and off,
off
to
to
the right.
another segment of the map.
All right.
Yes,
we'll
it
check over
does.
here then first.
And here you have a bizarrely shaped dead end.
No dead minotaurs and coins.
No.
Disappointing. I think we should finish searching this area before we go off
Agreed.
into some other tunnel. I'm gonna stay next to this wall over here.
Put your right hand on the wall.
Yes. I mean, there are minotaurs down here.
Or so you think.
There were demonstrably minotaurs down here. We killed them.
Yeah, looking in this direction, once again, you see the cave getting narrower until it finally narrows into a tunnel in front of you and another one off to the south. The south tunnel does not narrow as much, though. It looks to be a continuation of the cave you're currently in.
I think we should just... Yeah, let's just continue.
Gus,
Yes,
how you doing?
I'm fine.
As you come to this tunnel, on the other side of it, it widens back out into a cavern where the roof above you is about 20 feet high, so not quite as high as the large caves that you were just exploring. And I would like you to please make a wisdom saving throw.
Sure.
Wise boy Gus. That's what we called him back home.
4. No, wait. 7.
7.
Yeah.
So, as you start entering the tunnel, you notice 2 things. One, the floor of the tunnel on the other side is slightly concave. There's a slope downward. And your boots on the ground feel a little smoother than the rock you've been traversing up to this point. And you have to rely on feeling the ground with your feet like this because a bank of fog rolls over inside of the room you're about to enter. And as you're about to enter, as you reach the mouth of the tunnel, you notice the floor is starting to slope away from you. You hear faintly, echoey from in front of you.
I'm distressed. I found something distressing over here. Gus is going to take a step back if he's able to.
Yeah, you can take a step back.
Hey, guys. There's fog and laughter in this room.
Weapons at the ready. Yep, Bork. There we go. That works.
You bork at the room to no avail.
Yeah.
Do we want to skip this room and come back later, or are we worried something will be behind us?
If he sounds something, if he's heard something tittering, then we should probably go and investigate.
So the room looks. You said concave, so like a.
It doesn't look
Like a
concave,
hole.
it feels concave. You can't actually see the floor for this fog that's kind of enveloping the floor of the cave. So you've got this narrow tunnel adjoining the large cavern that you're in, and a smaller, but still about 20 foot tall cavern on the other side from here.
Okay. Any ideas from the people in the back?
I
Nope.
say,
No, not really.
Okay. All right.
hang on. No, go. I was just kind of getting my people into position.
Okay. I am going to hover one, like, I don't know, a couple inches off the ground,
Okay?
and I'm just going to go into the room. Brooker, do you take criticism?
Are you entering the room?
Yeah, wait. Sorry, this laugh is actually bothering me a lot.
Are you entering the room?
Did everybody else hear that?
Did we?
None of you heard anything.
Haven't
No,
heard
I didn't
anything
hear
yet, Gus.
You didn't hear the creepy laughter.
I mean, I can listen for it.
There.
Yes, no?
Lucius, go ahead and make yourself and Numac a wisdom saving throw, please,
Sure thing.
as you approach the tunnel.
Lucius got a 23. Numac got not a 23.
What did Numac get?
Like a 2 on die. I have to pull his stat block back up. Couldn't be any higher than a 5.
Treble, it's just a game.
Please don't whisper to me like that. That's also disturbing.
Numac also hears the voice as he approaches the tunnel.
Lucius looks askance at both Numac and Gustavus and says, "Still not hearing anything." Like, I believe it. I believe you.
Gus, your legs disappear into the fog after a few steps into the cave, about to the a few inches underneath your knee, just roiling around your legs.
Do you see the fog, Lucius?
You do.
Yeah.
Okay.
What are Connor and Alex doing back there?
Observing.
Yeah, I'm seeing.
Eventually moving forward, but yeah.
Let's get a saving throw from Connor and Alex.
One of these days, magical plants are going to be involved. It's going to be
Is this against
incredible.
magic or spell?
Yes.
Oh, no,
where's-
saving throw bonuses. Never mind. That's a. Oh, I didn't know my character sheet. That's a very high number. It's a 20 something.
That is a 19.
Neither of you hear the laughing.
Okay.
But Gus is apparently very visibly distressed. And in the past minute or so, he's only made it about 10 feet into the cave as he's measuring each step carefully.
No, I don't hear anything, Gus.
Gus is very distressed, yes. And he's so distressed that he's going to cast a spell. He's going to cast Gust of Wind.
Okay?
Let's see. A line of strong wind. How long? $60 feet long. Okay. So basically just 40, 50, 60, just that way, just straight along. I'm
Off into
casting
this
Gust.
tunnel?
Yeah, off into the tunnel. Gust
So
of
at the
Wind.
opposite end of the room, you see another where it comes and narrows again, back down into a narrow tunnel. You want to cast the gust through into that tunnel, correct?
Yes,
Okay,
correct.
gotcha. Yeah, and as you do, the fog blows out of the way, revealing the concave floor. It looks like it dips down in the middle. So from the midpoint of the room to the ceiling would be about 25 feet, maybe.
Well, that's pretty steep.
So yeah, you're kind of going down this bowl shape in the bottom of the room. The floor looks like it's been smoothed out with tools here. And looking up at the ceiling, you see the ceiling looks about the same way. You know what?
Okay.
I wonder if this room is a reference to that silly room in Zork.
I've never played Zork, so
Yeah, I don't remember that one.
I'm going to fly over the concave hole.
Okay.
And my understanding of this spell is that the wind originates from me,
Mm-hmm.
but it doesn't change the direction which it's blowing.
Yeah, you can just blow the fog out of your way as you go.
I know, but I'm just like, and it does take conscious bonus action on my part to change the direction it's blowing. Just
I'll send Steely across the bottom.
And Steely crosses the room to the other tunnel.
Lucius is gonna hug the wall.
Let's, you know what? I'm gonna fire up my own boots of flying and fall in line behind Gus.
It takes about a full minute for the fog to resettle after Gus blows it out of the way. By that time, you guys have crossed the room to the other side.
and then the spell's gone.
Okay. And you find
'Cause it only
yourself
lasts
at the
a
other
minute.
tunnel.
All right.
And when you come over here, you're back into narrow tunnels like you were before you entered the cavern. And one path goes off to the left, one path goes off to the right.
All right.
Good investigators go right.
Doing the artificial giggle almost made me laugh for real. And I feel like that would have ruined the effect.
You did well, Rickred. You kept kayfabe pretty well.
What's next?
Like I said, good investigators go right.
Yeah, sure. We're here. Gus doesn't really want to cross the room back the other way.
Goes right.
Yeah.
All right, I need to save this map. Overwrite. Oh, that's why I didn't open Photoshop with my cheat map on it. I'm playing this adventure, well, the map anyway, not the adventure. I've repopulated most of the rooms, but I have the book open in front of me, but I also have a Photoshop map. So I had to rotate the map 90 degrees to fit it on the table, so I keep looking at the book and being like, that's not the map I'm using. As soon as I open this, I can continue this dungeon.
Wait for 6 years for Photoshop to open up.
Photoshop's pretty good on this laptop. If I leave it open for many days at a time and then try to do something in it, it just goes, nah. Alright, so I need this map. That's not the right map. Are any of these the right map?
This must
Hold
be-
on. I might have cropped this badly. No, here we go. This is correct. Okay. Whew. Good investigators go right. Did I hear that correctly?
Yes.
Okay. You follow the tunnel to the right. About 10 feet. And then you hear from in front of you a cry for help. Help me!
All of us hear it.
You hear it as you reach an intersection where the path goes off to the left and to the right. You heard the voice call out to your left. So you're coming in from here.
We should probably
Can someone debigulate us?
debigify ourselves.
I'm on the thing, so let me do it.
And Gus, as you peer around the corner, you see a dead end. But clearly the tunnel is supposed to continue here. But there's been a cave-in. Just rubble blocks the path, floor to ceiling. And can I please have a wisdom saving throw from Gus?
Sure, we know how those go.
We do know how those go.
Always will. Never any bad
That
problems.
is 15.
15. Okay.
Hello? Somebody said they needed help? I think it might
No
have been
answer?
yeah, no answer. Either they're not real, which, you know, I am kind of leaning on the fence too because of all the, giggling,
Mm-hmm.
or I mean, because I'm not quiet, right?
No.
Yeah, no.
Not even a little bit.
They would have heard us, so yeah. Yeah.
And the other path continues off to your right. The tunnel narrows a little bit, but after about 30 feet or so, it starts to open up again into another wide gallery. And you see one of these large stone spires just off to the left inside of the room. And you hear the sound of dripping fluid emanating from that direction as you begin down the tunnel.
Dripping fluid.
Yes, sir.
Gross.
I mean, it could just be seawater.
Yeah.
It could.
Gus.
Yes.
Yes.
As you and Steely approach the room, you see a similar pattern to the Giggle dungeon that you just left, where the floor begins sloping away from you as you exit the tunnel, and the floor here is enveloped in fog. Do we have a light source, or are we relying on dark vision?
I think we're currently
we're
relying
all
on dark vision.
Dark vision. Yeah, because I've blown a spell charge to
Okay.
cast it.
Fair enough. I did crop this pretty badly. I am now realizing.
What do I want to type here?
So is there fog in this one as well?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
So I wasn't sure when you said similar if you meant just in the shape.
You can't see the floor, but as you are exiting the tunnel, you can feel the floor sloping away from you slightly. It feels smoother than most of the other stone of the dungeon, and you can see the fog enveloping the floor.
I'm just gonna send Celia out.
Okay?
How far away can we see him?
As far as your dark vision allows.
Okay.
And it's a much, much larger room. Again, the ceiling of the room is about 20 feet from the base of the fog. And, I mean, you could probably see his shoulders huffing up and over the fog bank, unless he's flying or levitating above it.
Yeah.
Is he?
Yeah.
Okay. So, when he gets to the center of the room, to here,
Yeah.
the inside of these three stone spires has been smoothed considerably, just like the floor and the ceiling here have. And abyssal runes cover their surface. And that's the extent of the information you get when you send Steely.
I'm gonna call Steely back. I'm gonna fire up my boots of flying, and I am gonna go over there and inspect for traps.
As you fly over, you feel a drip on the back of your neck.
Mm-hmm. Was there like condensation or water dripping from the ceiling, or what?
Slicker than that. Feels like maybe slimier. It's definitely not water. More viscous.
I mean, I'll just grab, like a tool or something and scrape it off the back of my neck then.
Okay, and you just wipe it off. Make me a wisdom saving throw.
Yep. Is this against magic?
Yes.
It's an 18.
Okay. Make me an Arcana or Religion check. Your choice.
Let's do the big A. 17 for Arcana.
Okay. Poring over the runes for a few moments before you start digging out your tools and go poking at the pillars. These were carved by inexpert hands. Most likely slaves following the direction of some other creature. And you don't know their exact purpose, but it's pretty clear that the sigils on these pillars are meant to summon something.
Mm-hmm.
And you would bet a buffalo nickel that if Gus did his Gust of Wind, I get it, Gust of Wind, okay, in this room, you would see similar arcane runes all over the floor in between the pillars.
Okay. Looks like some sort of summoning device. I haven't figured out if I can disable it or if it's even active.
Oh, I have a question. How tall is the ceiling?
In this room, about 20 feet from the top of the fog bank, and you watch Scrappy walk into the room, and you could still see his head and shoulders above the fog bank when he got to the center.
Huh.
Lucius, I might need your expertise here.
What are you thinking?
These are abyssal, right?
Lucius, let's get a wisdom saving throw, please.
Certainly. $23.
23?
Yep.
Yeah, make an Arcana check. See if you can identify some of the runes.
Double check my bonus to that. Pretty sure I know what it is off the top of my head, but just want to make sure. Yeah. 25.
Yeah, you come to the same conclusion that Alex did. You're not certain what the exact function of these runes are, but they strike you as summoning magic.
And I can't get any more specific than that, whether it's abyssal, infernal.
Can you read Abyssal?
I sure can't.
That's that.
Right. Beyond my wheelhouse. But I concur.
If I were to take a hammer to some of these, do you think that would stop them from summoning something we don't want to fight?
I don't know what would trigger any kind of magic here. I don't know what triggered this magic, so
So,
I'd be loath to try and tamper with it.
do we
Okay.
do we know what has dripped on Alex?
Yeah, can we get any kind of look at that?
What are you doing? Check it out.
Whatever it was, Alex probably would have just dropped it into the fog.
Oh,
I mean,
Lucius looks up.
Lucius, as you look up, you feel a drip hit the spot right in between your nose and your eye. It kind of blink it out. Doesn't do any harm, but it's viscous and cold as it drips into your face.
Alex
just
will
wipes
fire
off.
up.
Yeah, yeah. No, Lucius will wipe it onto his fingers and look to Alexander for light.
It's
Yeah,
not,
Alex. That's what I was about to do. Alex will light up a stone coin and hold it in front of Lucius' face.
and two things notice immediately. One, the fog in this room where Gus is standing has this, it looks like regular fog, but the further you go into the center of the room, the redder and redder it gets until the place where Alex is floating above the fog bank, it is the color of rust. When you look up at the ceiling with light, you can see that the entire ceiling is slick with blood and is dripping periodically.
Yeah, Lucius will step back out of the room because that's really disgusting.
Does the blood like flow into these rooms?
No, it doesn't. In fact,
It's
none
just
of
on the ceiling.
it's coated the ceiling and it's dripping periodically.
Okay.
What would splatter blood up there like that?
Ritual sacrifice?
What would keep it there?
Yeah, that's my other question.
Alex is just gonna fly. Does the fog continue in this direction?
It does, and as you this direction, the cave narrows back down again.
Yeah.
The fog dissipates, the slope comes back up, and it enters into a narrow tunnel going off that direction.
All right.
Lucius hugs the wall and follows after Alexander.
Executive decision. Gus pulls a torch out and puts it in the sconce on stealing and lights it.
Okay.
How funny would it be if the blood fog was explosive?
That's really
Valid.
funny, actually.
It'd be really valid.
Pretty funny, right?
I don't want to go.
You almost
It's a
never
blood
use
ring.
open flame too. You'd finally got. There could have been 5 dungeons with this. And continual flame, light coin.
Did Connor just say he doesn't want to go?
I don't want to go into the blood room.
This tunnel's
The
the,
blood
end.
fog.
Everything I've been through, I draw this far, no further.
Gus is gonna like.
I
go
mean,
around
this room is like the culmination of all of Connor's beliefs and justification for them.
The good news is the path that Lucius and Gus are taking back around the side of this pillar, there's no runes or carvings on the outsides of the pillars, and the fog remains relatively foggish here. You've got to go into the center of the room.
Oh, it's kind of like this.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Okay.
Yeah, and you just see down this hallway.
Lucius takes out a long soiled handkerchief and wipes the rest of the blood off of his face.
Really need to get you some new handkerchiefs. I think those are shot.
Really need to invent something that casts prestidigitation.
And Lucius, as you come, you can see that it continues about 70 feet or so, and then comes to a dead end. The tunnel just
Comes
stops.
to a dead end at the tunnel at the end there.
Anything happen to Steely if he goes to the end of the tunnel?
No, he just comes to the dead end of the tunnel and sits there patiently.
Alex will fly over and inspect the wall for like any sort of releases or any mechanical devices to open. See if there's like a false door or anything here.
Whereas the previous dead end you looked at what looked like the result of a cave-in, this is either just the natural end of this tunnel, or many, many hundreds of years ago something was digging or tunneling in this direction and stopped here.
Okay.
Going over the walls, nothing's loose. Nothing opens. Your only egress is back into the blood room.
So back around the other side of the blood room?
Yeah.
Oops. Not my badge.
Be your badger.
Bork, indeed.
You don't hear? I don't hear. I didn't hear no borking.
Oh, okay, good.
I was promised Borking.
Sorry.
He fixed his noise gate. Coming around this way. Let me double check my map here. The tunnel narrows again as it comes out of the cavern. You have a passage that leads to the north. Then you have a passage that leads to the south. And a passage that leads to the northeast. We're calling the top of the map north. You have no idea if it's actually north.
Right.
Yeah.
No one took that
that's
feat.
fine.
I have thought about taking that feat several times just so I can go just have an excuse to tell Brick Road like I don't remember, but my character would. Just gonna peek down here. Like, does this go back? Can we tell if this is one of the tunnels we have previously?
Looking down that tunnel, you see where it adjoins the Minotaur living area that you previously explored.
Okay.
We're sending Steely all the way up.
Oh, was this
With
a
torch, yeah.
path down?
That's a wall.
That's a wall. Okay, gotcha. So I'm gonna do this.
Yeah, let's just send Steely with the torch up through there.
And eventually, Steely reaches a T-shaped intersection.
Okay.
Down this way. Just
Yeah.
since I'm looking. 60 feet of dark vision. Does that get me?
Another stone pillar before you. And when Steely gets close to it, he realizes all sides of the pillar look like the carved pillars in this room, covered with these runes that have been chiseled into it by inexpert hands.
So whoever made these inscriptions either had not the strength or the will to carve it themselves, or the inclination.
There's
rather.
no blood fog in this one though, right?
No, there's not.
Something without opposable thumbs, able to use tools to do this.
Alex, as you approach the pillar, you can start hearing from somewhere beyond the pillar, not echoing very much because you're in relatively narrow and cramped space now, but you hear this just low droning sound. It reminds you of a metallic hum.
Can I see any further down either of these?
Yeah, you can look around the pillar to either side.
And are these also in Abyssal?
Yes.
Okay. Can I make an Arcana to see if I think they're also summoning?
Yeah, go ahead, make that check.
16.
They're related to the runes you saw previously,
Mhm.
but these ones strike you more as an abjuration.
Let's just, for thoroughness, take a look back here.
Coming around the side, the passage continues to the north, and the humming, the droning sound does seem to get a little stronger. After 30 feet or so, the tunnel turns sharply to the left.
I'll sort of motion that direction with his gun.
Just pulls his scepter out and gets ready to pull the ripcord.
Right behind Steely, about 10 feet.
And a dead end, but at the end of it is where the humming is the loudest, and you see Steely's got a torch sconce, yes?
Yeah.
There's a pool of liquid on the floor, but you could never mistake it for water. It's a liquid metal. The top of it has a silvery sheen, and it doesn't move like water. It doesn't ripple. When you look at it, it looks off. And then floating above it, maybe about 10 feet off the ground, not quite 10 feet, maybe like 5 feet off the ground, so halfway up to the ceiling, a metallic orb of the same silvery sheen. And it's the vibrations of this orb over this pool of liquid metal that's causing the humming sound.
Alex will fly over there.
Okay.
So it's in this square?
Yeah, it's in the dead end, like a little alcove.
Okay.
The tunnel goes off to the north and turns sharply into this left-facing alcove.
Alex will pull a probe out of his thieves' tools and try and see if he can't just pull the orb so it's no longer, like, pull the orb out of the whatever force is holding it in place.
The orb is not solid. When you touch it with one of your probes, it's made of the same liquid material. And first of all, as soon as you touch it with your probe, the humming distorts greatly. Like the bass in it drums up for a moment. And it warps. It sounds very strange. And when you pull the probe back away, you see that you're pulling some amount of the material away as well. And when it breaks free, it drips off the end of your probe, runs slick so it doesn't leave any residue, leaves a drop in the pool below. And that drop also resonates as a loud humming tone. But this is much, much more audible, and you can hear it ringing off the walls all around you. Takes about a full 20 or 30 seconds before the hum resonates back down to just its background drone.
How big is the orb?
Maybe the size of a basketball, maybe a little smaller.
Some absolutely bizarre sort of instrument, maybe?
Is it magical?
No, it's definitely magical.
You have flasks, don't you?
Yeah, it seems a little viscous. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, we could just
Do I think I could use any of my tools to scoop some of this up into a flask?
Possible.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. Working with gloves, I'll see if I can get one flask of this liquid.
Okay. And it's the strangest thing, because your gloves obviously meant to protect your hands, but sometimes working with liquids, you'll feel the liquids seep into the glove nonetheless. This doesn't adhere to your glove at all, and it doesn't adhere to the side of the flask either. The flask has no difficulty holding the liquid, and you don't have any difficulty putting a stopper in the flask when you're done. But there's no residue on the side of the flask, there's no residue on your gloves, and just the act of disturbing the pool causes the vibration to warp in bizarre ways. Gus, from where you're standing, as Alex is filling up this flask, you see ripples and movement around the orb, as though it's warping and distorting before your eyes. And just about the time that Alex gets the stopper up, back behind you, you hear the sound of a large quantity of water or some other liquid splashing against the floor, echoing very loudly.
I think I get it. I think this is keeping the blood suspended. I think that's a scale model spell thingy. Remember, Gus is a fighter.
Yeah.
That is like showing the blood.
Oh, if
And
we're
then-
going back over there, there's going to be a giant pool of blood now on the ground.
Yes, there probably is going to be a giant pool of blood.
Oh, no.
And I hopefully the blood was not the trigger for whatever the summoning runes were.
As everyone else is leaving, Alex is going to try, like, holding this flask between the pool and the orb and, like, just swinging around and see how that affects things.
And it's it affects things greatly. Your movement of the flask in between the orb and the pool causes great distortions in both. And the more
Okay.
you move it, the more splashing you hear behind
Okay. Having observed that, Alex will fly back.
you. Are you taking your flask of ill-gotten liquid metal
Yeah.
with you? Okay.
Absolutely.
In the
When you
epilogue,
guys
we find out.
get
Go ahead.
back to the entrance to the blood fog room, and it looks much the same as it did, except now you can visibly see large quantities of blood dripping from the ceiling down into the center of the room.
I'm gonna take this torch off of Steely, and I'm like, all right. And I'm going to fly. I'm gonna get about here.
Okay.
I'm gonna get to the edge of the fog and then fly up to the ceiling to kind of illuminate the ceiling.
And as you get up there, you're holding your torch.
Yes.
There's popping and sizzling sounds as the dripping liquid threatens to put out your torch.
I mean, like I'm looking for I'm trying to find like where the dripping is coming from.
Okay, from the ceiling, and it's dripping all over you. By the time you get back to the floor, you're going to be soaked.
Oh. Okay. Well, I'll put the torch back on Steely.
And it's a grisly sight when Gus comes back, having flown up to the blood-spattered ceiling. And as you guys stand here, over the course of the next couple minutes, the dripping does seem to start to begin to slow, but it does not stop completely. It doesn't ever settle back into the state that it was in when you first entered the room. Heading up to the T-juncture up here. You can see where the tunnel continues off in both directions. And in the left direction, it's only about 30 feet before you reach another T-junction.
Let's go ahead and
Wait, this
make
was
sure
the-
this area is clear first.
You're going over here?
Yeah.
Okay. In another few feet, there's another T-junction. Although, the tunnel to the south does seem to widen a bit vertically. Steely looks south into a vast, empty chamber. Gus, make a wisdom saving throw, please.
Sure. 21.
21. Glancing off to the south, as you pass up Steely, you do see a very thin blanket of fog covering the base of the floor in here. And you see shapes in the fog, but you can't place what they are. And it suddenly strikes you as a very bad idea to focus your sight on them to try to discern what the shapes are.
Gus turns around and says, "Don't look at the fog. Something's in there and it's bad."
Lucius fixates on Gustavus and says, like, what?
Lucius, make a wisdom saving throw at advantage.
"22.
And it's like, remember you had a toothache as a kid and your mama told you, like, don't tongue it. And then when she told you that, all you wanted to do was tongue it.
Oh, yeah.
That's what's happening here. You're heading towards Gus, and you're thinking, I'm going to focus on Gus's grisly, blood-soaked, probably not recently showered body, and I'm not going to look at the fog, and I'm not going to look at the fog, and telling yourself that, you almost glance over at the fog, and then you catch yourself. And Gus, the tunnel continues off in this direction.
All right. Make another look. I'm gonna stay here and like just focus on me. I'm gonna look to the north when you come through.
And as Lucius and Scrappy enter this tunnel, you realize that there's a thin fog all through the tunnel that you're just kind of stepping through. It's not opaque all the way. You can see the floor, but not always very clearly. And everywhere you step, a swirl of fog is disturbed under your feet.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the others to catch up before I move any further.
Where's Numac, by the way? I have
Never spawned it because never put one in because he's like.
There you go. Let's get a wisdom saving throw from... I gave you one here. This one's for initiative.
Oh well, geez, it didn't appear immediately.
Is this against magic?
Yes.
It's a 12.
12, Connor. Can I get a wisdom saving throw, please?
Oh, I'm gonna be the first one to blow these. Not
Second.
gonna enjoy it.
Yeah, I don't know about that 12.
That is a 14.
Connor and Alex, as you're approaching, neither of you can resist glancing over to your right. And when you do, you see the shapes in the fog look like pained faces pushing up, beseeching your help. And both of you are compelled to walk in and offer what aid you can.
Gus is like, well,
Numac
okay.
is a 17 when he does attempt to make it past.
No, Gus is grabbing both of them. What did I say? Don't look at the fog. And I'm gonna try to grapple both of them.
Okay.
But we need to help who's in there.
Roll initiative.
Oh. Okay.
So Numac got a 17 on that save?
Yes,
He's not compelled to look then.
that's kind of what I figured.
Man. Of all the times to roll a 1, that seems like a
Gi-
really good one.
I had Gift of Alacrity, didn't I?
Yes, you did. No, you didn't.
No, I didn't. Okay.
You did not, because I have not ticked it.
Okay.
That's how I know.
What is
So as they turn to enter into the fog room, Gus, you're going to grab each of them?
yeah.
What does Numac do? He's at the top of the initiative order.
Numac's gonna grab Connor.
Okay, so Connor is grabbed by both of them, and Numac is grabbing Connor. Yeah, go ahead and make a grapple check. And Connor, you can oppose this. In fact, you must oppose this with either athletics or acrobatics.
Oh, I'm so good at acrobatics. Oh, man.
You're gonna have to beat a 14.
Did you say at advantage or just regular?
Just regular.
Okay.
Unless you have some way to give yourself advantage on the roll.
Thought about it, but no. Oh, that's only a 13,
Well,
though.
do you have some way to give yourself advantage?
I don't.
Okay.
13.
And how did Numac do?
14.
So yeah, you're grappled by Numac and you cannot move.
10, 20, 30.
So you're dragging Connor over here?
Yep.
Is that the end of Numac's turn?
Yep. Actually, no, I'm going to dash for another 10.
You can't dash.
20.
You used your action.
Use
Oh,
your
right.
action.
Right. My B.
Alex.
Yeah.
You're going into this room. You see these pained faces. Obviously, they're in need of aid. And Connor puts his hand on you. You're not grappled yet because Connor hasn't had a chance to take his turn yet. But
Gus.
Gustavus.
I'm sorry, Gus, yes. The fact that he's stopping you from entering this room and helping these people is so violently offensive to you that the only thing you can think of is that Connor, in some form or fashion, has caused the people in this room to become trapped. You are compelled to put an end to him.
Really?
Wait, is it Connor or Gus?
Gus, not Connor.
Okay.
Why am I getting
Twice. Twice.
Because they're both green.
I mean, I know I can't fly away from Gus because he'll just grab me.
He does have Sentinel now. It's funny, if he hadn't taken Sentinel, you could just fly away from him, and it'd be fine.
So I guess what we're doing is we're pointing the gun at the ground and creating bonfire under him.
That's a cantrip, right?
Yeah.
And
Let's see,
are you also moving on your turn?
I'll try that after I use the bonfire. So, let's see here. 5-foot cube when I cast. Okay, so Gus, you need to make a DC 17 dexterity saving throw.
That's not going to happen. That did not happen.
Okay, so there's a bonfire there now. That's where we are. That deals Ah.
Casually picks up 6d8s.
8 fire damage, and then Alex tries to fly away.
Guess I'll Sentinel.
You have your you have your reaction.
Does Sentinel require a weapon? Hold on, because otherwise I'm just going to punch him. Let me double check that.
Can you still grab me?
You can't make a grapple check as an opportunity attack, I don't
Okay.
think.
Yeah.
I could hit you with a booming blade, but that seems, excessive.
Mm-hmm.
He lit a fire under you.
And, we all make mistakes.
So right
you
now,
hit it-
Alex
yeah,
is
okay.
trying to go to here.
No, it's just a punch.
Okay.
Doesn't say weapon attacks. Oh, that's not going to hit. That is only a 15. That's not going to hit Alex.
Okay, so Alex dodges out of the way of that and then flies, like 10 feet off the floor in here. What do I'm still compelled to also go in here and save these people?
There are faces under the fog that
Yeah.
look horribly pained.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Alex will go there to try and do something about it. He's going to order Scrappy to come over here and pin you down. Best way to keep Gus out of action. So Scrappy's going to make a grapple attempt, and that'll hit what is his attack? That's my spell attack. Excellent.
Well, before we get to Steely here,
Yeah.
I got bad news for you because you can't help these people at all if you're flying up above the fog.
Okay, then I'll be on the ground.
And when Alex descends, I mean, the fog in here, it's relatively thin. You can still see him. But as he descends into it, he looks much farther away than he must be. Instead of looking like he's 15 or 20 feet away, it looks like he's descended 30, 40, maybe even more. There are bizarre spatial distortions in the room. And no matter how far you move, Alex, you don't seem to get any closer to the pained faces. They're always in the distance, reaching out of the floor.
Flying downward.
Eventually you do reach the floor, but even as you get to the floor, they still feel very far away from you.
Okay. Steely has an order to pin Gus down.
Okay.
That's opposed athletics, right? For grapple
Yeah.
checks. Can Steely beat an A20?
No, he can't.
Not grappled.
Okay.
And that's going to bring us to Lucius.
Hey, Alexander. I would say you're about 60 feet away from me, at least as the map goes, right?
10, 20, 30, about, no, not quite. 35 maybe.
Okay, then. I am going to hit Alexander with a barbed chain that springs out of his hand. That's a vine whip.
Okay.
A thorn whip, rather. Alexander, does a nat 1 hit you?
No.
Connor.
Do I
It
burn
looks-
blips on this?
It looks suspiciously like Lucius just used a plant-based magical attack.
I thought we agreed way back when that I skinned this as like spooky demon chains or
I
something.
am desperately trying to help him use his plant magic thing.
Okay, fair enough.
But how does that affect me?
So Lucius, you lash out with the thorn whip and don't hit. But
Yeah,
as you do,
I don't catch
You're-
Alexander to pull him backward.
your thorn rip reaches out a preposterous distance, an impossible length. There's no way the magic is that strong. As you reach into this spatial distortion and the whip cracks back to you. Moving or
Only I
staying
had
put?
taken that. If only I had taken that Eldritch Blast bonus that lets you pull people instead of push. That's the end of my turn.
That's going to bring us to Gus. Gus have to do anything special in this bonfire?
Yeah. Do I have to make another saving throw?
Alexander?
When it moves into the bonfire space or ends its turn there?
Yeah, move or
Okay.
end. Yes, sorry.
Okay. So Gus is going to look at the ceiling
Mm-hmm.
and then
In the face room or in the area where you are?
like Gus is firmly not looking at the fog.
Sure.
And he is going to go, this is a bad idea, and fly above Alex and then try to grapple him.
You can't do that while you're flying above him. You're going to have to go down to the floor.
Right, I am going to go down, but
Okay.
I'm not. I'm going to land next to him.
Let's get that opposed check. Your athletics versus Alex's athletics or acrobatics.
Can you
It's a
beat
10.
22?
So you
10.
scoop him up.
And can you? I think I can replace one of my. I think the thing is I can replace. I forget the rule. Can you replace? I know you can replace an attack with a push attack. Can you replace it with a grapple?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. So and then still get your extra attacks is what I'm saying. It's part of
Yes.
the attack action. Okay. So I'm gonna punch him in the top of the head.
He's grappled, not restrained, so you're not rolling this at advantage.
Right. I know.
Okay.
That's fine.
Knock some sense into the boy.
That's a not gonna hit. And okay, that's an 18.
That hits.
So I'm just gonna punch him. You take. Oh, I forgot how powerful
It's
my honors.
1 plus your strength
No,
modifier damage.
you take 7 damage.
All right. Let's see here. So the
And-
bonfire's still up.
And we are. So hold on, how much movement was that? So that's. Crap, I don't have enough. I am basically lifting. I'm going to lift Alex above my head and face him towards the ceiling while also looking at the ceiling.
It's up to him where he's looking.
Well, I'm lifting up about out of the fog, is what I'm doing.
Sure.
You are bodily out of the floor. I'm deadlift. I'm like bench pressing you above my head.
Okay.
Is that it?
And yeah, that's for some reason I was thinking I could take him with me with Misty Step, but that's not Misty Step. That's Thunder Step.
Great spell.
And Lucius, you have Connor grappled, right?
I do not.
Numac does.
Numac does.
So Connor, you have the same epiphany about Numac that Alex just had about Gus. Numac must be in on this. He's trying to prevent you from helping these people, and looking in the room, you see that Gus is doing the same thing to Alex. You're compelled to attack one of them fatally in the service of rescuing the people trapped in this fog.
But I am grappled, correct?
You are grappled.
Okay. Bonus action, Misty Step,
Okay?
get out of the grapple.
You can't go that direction.
I can't go that direction.
That puts you further away from where you need to be.
Oh,
You need to be in this room helping these people.
okay. Case 30.
Okay?
We go here.
You hear Gus go, "Oh, come on!"
And your Misty Step carries you. It feels like it carries you much, much, much farther than it ever has before as the spatial distortion of the room twists your visibility.
Okay.
And there's Gus.
Here's a question for you,
Yes, sir.
because I like being difficult to my own party. Do I consider do I consider Alex to be someone who is trying to help me in this regard?
Alex is trying to help the people in this room that are trapped
Right.
here, the faces.
Right. Okay. I guess what I'm getting at is I think it makes most sense for Connor to attack Gus.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like if Gus were just an orc carrying Alex off, what would you do to him?
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna shoot him 3 times.
Oh, you'll love to hear it.
20s. Can't wait for it. Here they come.
That's a 14 to hit.
It's really hard to hit Gus. Don't feel bad. If
Oh,
you
I
hit
got
him.
it. I also got a Slayer's Prey, Gus. That's right. I can't forget that. That is important. No, I can't because I've used my bonus action. Never mind.
Yeah, missed a step.
Yeah. All right. Second arrow is a 18 to hit.
Nope.
This is I knew I should have hit Numac. That's all right. I got a third one of these.
Numac's a lot easier.
That is a nat 1. That is no hits.
Gus, you hoist Alex above your head, and he's kicking furiously, trying to get rid of your grip. And no sooner do you turn around than an arrow zings by your head, and another one plinks off the front of your armor, and Connor's standing there, loosing shafts at you.
That's 3 arrows I've lost too. That's
Yeah, you can recover those probably.
okay. Cool. I'm sure I'll be able to find them in this fog. It'll be okay.
The fog of lost souls.
Connor, moving or staying put?
No, I'm good here, man. I gotta help these people.
Don't you get 4 attacks?
No, it's 3.
What did you take as your capstone? I'd forgotten.
The capstone gives me a third.
Oh, okay, you had to. You got
Rangers only get 2.
One of you went up to 4, I thought.
No.
No, Gus went with a barbarian instead.
Yeah,
Okay, I
Gus
remember
went barbarian.
now.
Rangers are bad.
Took the third attack. Numac took the third attack.
It's going to bring us back to Numac.
Let's see here. Okay. You don't really have much in the way of. You know what he's going to do? He is going to grapple Scrappy.
Numac is going to grapple Scrappy?
Yep, Steely.
Steely?
The Steely beat a 18.
No.
Steely is grappled. And 20, 30.
Okay.
That's getting a new max turn.
Alex, repeat that wisdom saving throw, please.
And this is against magic, correct?
Oh, yes, it is.
Oof.
Am I allowed to use a class feature to enhance that? Or am I compelled not to?
Is it something that Alex has to do consciously?
Yeah.
Then you can't use it here.
Okay, so that's a 9.
Basically, Alex has no desire to be free of this
Yeah.
magic because he doesn't know
Right.
that he's in it.
Yeah, that's a 9 on wisdom.
Not going to do it.
Okay. Well, I can't fight effectively with Gus grabbing me, so let's holster the gun and pull out the sword and get to the sorting.
Curse your sudden but inevitable betrayal.
So that is a crit.
Wait, inevitable?
Yeah, basically. I mean, let's be honest.
This is how Gus
So
dies.
we got 14 magical slashing damage from the scimitar.
Gus, remember that time you got your arms hacked off by an angry mind-controlled gnome?
Yep.
And that hits an armor class of 28.
Congratulations, you've done more damage than the Minotaurs did.
Oh, but that's not a crit, so I have to. Alright. For 8 magical slashing, and a third slash misses. And then I don't have an action to try and break the grapple or anything. I think best just go right through Gus. At this point, best way back to the faces. They need our help. Steely is going to try and break the grapple with Numac.
Okay.
So that's an athletics. He gets a 18.
New Mac gets a 17. I'm sorry, 16.
So Steely breaks free.
And Steely can make it to here, but we're flying, so we can't really do anything useful.
And that's going to bring us to Lucius.
Connor. Lucius stretches out his hand, and another chain comes at you.
At Connor?
At Connor. 22 to hit.
Oh yeah, that hits.
Wait, is your bonus an advantage to saves?
Yeah.
It's an advantage to saves.
You tried. 7 points of piercing damage, and you are pulled 10 feet.
Now that you're 10 feet further away, you can't shoot your bow and arrow at Gus anymore.
Is that how that works?
No, you can totally shoot Gus as much as you want.
Okay, yeah. All right. All right.
So you pull Gus, or you pull Connor back towards you.
Yeah.
Moving or staying put?
Yeah, I'm staying put.
That's going to bring us to Gus. So Gus, you're flying above the... you've levitated up above the fog. If you were to come
about
down at the floor,
5
you're
feet.
entering Steely's threat range.
Mechanics question. What is the range increment of a gnome? No, I'm just kidding.
What do you want to do here?
I'm going to... You know what?
Are you going to chuck the gnome?
Is it considered difficult terrain if since I'm flying? Do I spend 2 feet of movement?
To do what?
To move. I'm flying.
No, there's not difficult terrain at all. You're flying.
Well, I'm carrying Alex. That's why I was asking.
You're strong.
Okay. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Actually, hold on. 25, 30.
Are you going to drop in the fire? Seems kind of rude to drop a man in his own bonfire.
I
I learned
I'm
that
gonna
at
go
a
this way.
church picnic.
I am going to go this way. 25, 30. Then I'm going to dash 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. And then, yeah. I'm just going to stand here holding Alex.
Stand or levitate?
I am currently just levitating. I'm holding Alex up to the roof. I'm shoving him into the roof.
Okay.
However tall the roof is.
In the tunnels here,
I know it's
not that
very
tall, maybe about
Yeah.
10 feet.
Yeah, so I basically just... I guess that would be me being hovering off the ground like 5 feet.
I mean, and even then, your arms aren't outstretched. You're kind of smushed up against the ceiling.
Right.
Is that the end of Gus's turn? It's going to bring us to Connor. Connor, please repeat that wisdom saving throw.
Please don't fail the wisdom saving throw. What did I say?
I want to fail a saving throw. Nah. All right. This is nonsense. I am shooting Lucius 3 times.
I'm sure you are.
And I have my bonus action. So, Slayer's Prey.
Lucius is real easy to hit. You're not
I know he is.
Thankfully, I have some temporary hit points from the Minotaur fight. So,
That's an 18 to hit.
yep.
Cool.
I don't think you can miss Lucius unless you roll a nat 1.
That is 11 points of piercing damage.
Yep. Still got 10 HP.
That is a 30 to hit.
Yep.
Yeah, he's much squishier than Gus. That's 10 damage.
I don't have 10 HP anymore.
And it's a nat 1.
You miss.
I do miss.
So yeah, Lucius, no sooner do you grab Connor and start dragging him to you that the arrows start raining down on you.
Oh,
Connor's not grappled or anything by that. It was just a pull effect, right?
Yeah, it's just a pull.
So Connor, yes, you still have your full movement.
Why don't you want to help these people, Lucius? What the hell's the matter with you? That's it for Connor.
Well, you have to move back into the room. You got
Oh.
to use.
Oh, that's right. I'm not grappled. Yeah, absolutely.
And it's the same thing as with Alex. You're not flying. You're just walking, right?
I am just walking.
I mean, you get down on your hands and knees on the floor, and you're like, when you reach out for the faces, they always seem further and further away, even though you're at the stone floor at this point.
This is fine. Everything about this is normal. I am not bothered by this.
Perfectly fine. And now it's Numac's turn.
Mac 5, 10, 15, 20.
What would happen if Gus had failed to save? None of you could.
I probably would have killed everyone, to be honest. Because there was no.
Dash over to here. The intent of backing Gustavus up.
And did he have to dash to get there? That looks like.
Yeah, to
okay.
dash. Yeah, it's kind of a distance. Yeah.
Alex, go ahead and repeat that saving throw, please.
You got it.
Please don't fail a saving throw.
No, we're gonna spend the entire session doing this.
There we go.
And Alex,
16?
After a moment, you calm down, and for a moment you don't realize why Gus is holding you with your face squished against the stone ceiling. But then you remember the faces and the spatial distortion, and you start to feel nauseous. Let's call this a Constitution saving throw.
You're gonna throw up on me.
I'm really good at these, don't worry. That's a con save of 7.
You're not very good at these. And as you expel vomit all over Gus, it feels like the compulsion, like all the nastiness in your body welling up from the spatial distortion and the faces reaching out for you is expelled with it. And then you feel great. You feel absolutely fine.
I'm better.
And you're also cognizant of Connor having just shot Lucius a bunch of time and then turning to walk back into the room with the faces.
Let me go. I can go help Connor. I'm better.
I don't think you can end a grapple, not on your turn, can you?
It is his turn.
I'll let you use your reaction if you want to end it now.
Yeah, I'll drop him.
Okay.
Let's fly over here, and when Connor, I'll use my reaction when Connor gets this chance to make a save to give him a bonus.
And looking back in the room, the faces no longer have any effect on you.
Okay. Yeah, no, I can see right through it. I'll also let the fire end.
Okay.
Draw it. That's the end of Alex's turn. Steely will try and grapple Connor. Steely got an athletics of 22.
Connor, you can oppose that with athletics or dex acrobatics.
Acrobatics it is. This is probably not going to go well. Yeah, it's a 12.
So you are grappled by Steely, and he drags you away. Which is weird, because a moment ago, Alex was all gung-ho about saving these people, and apparently Lucius and Gus and Numac have gotten to him.
Just going to have to kill them all, I guess.
And that's going to bring us to Lucius, who has 2 arrows poking out of him.
Oh, oh no.
Lucius, what's up?
Yeah, I'm thinking. See, does this only work on melee hit? Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that to Connor. I am not within his threat range right now, which is nice.
Using a bow anyway.
Yeah. I'm gonna cast Suggestion.
Okay.
My sentence for that, for the purposes of the spell,
Well, he gets a save first.
yeah, Wisdom 17.
Wisdom
He's failed to
17.
save.
That is a 13.
What is your suggestion?
You need to stay here and think it through safely. You're compelled to do that for up to 8 hours, as long as I'm concentrating.
Yeah, sounds reasonable to you, Connor.
Stepping back from Connor.
Stepping
Actually,
back.
I have no way to break line of sight unless there's like a sharp angle up ahead.
There is a sharp angle up ahead, actually.
Lucius is taking that opportunity.
Lucius. Bear with me 1 second.
While he dies. Yep, no, that makes sense.
The fog gets a little bit thicker in this direction as you come around the corner.
Okay.
And you arrive at a T-juncture. And off to your left, for a moment, your heart seizes in your chest because you hear a dripping noise. And you think somehow you've circled back around to the horrible blood room. But if you listen for another second or two, you realize you're hearing the dripping of water and also a faint trickle coming from this direction.
Okay.
But if you come around the corner, you can no longer see your companions behind you.
Okay. This is fine.
That's going to bring us to Gustavus.
All right. 2, 3, 4.
Burn that spell slot.
Just gonna stand right here. I mean, I saw him command him. He's got to stand there and think about getting in there for the next 8 hours. So, as far as I'm concerned, the combat's basically over.
As far as you're concerned, Connor, go ahead and repeat that wisdom saving throw, please.
It's a 14. As I understand it, I have to sit here and think. Right?
Think of
That
the
is
best
my-
course of action to rescue these people.
You don't,
All right,
get,
that
you
is-
don't get another save against suggestion. Holy crap. If that lands, it's there. Yeah, as long as he's concentrating on the spells, you just have to sit here and think about whether it's really in your best interest to go into the room. How'd you do on the save versus the room?
Oh, I got to do that one too, huh?
Well, that's the one I had.
Alright.
That's the one you had to do to begin with. You don't get another save against suggestion.
Oh.
You get a save against the room at the beginning of each of your turns, but suggestion is forever.
For 8
Okay.
hours.
So what am I rolling then? Am I
Wisdom.
rolling anything?
Wisdom save
Wisdom.
against the room.
I rolled a 14.
Okay, so you're mulling it over, and you can't think of any good reasons why you shouldn't go there and help them. You're looking in the room, and you're still seeing the faces. I'd be interested in knowing, like, what are the odds if he gets, 10 tries per minute over the course of 8? What are the odds he never passes the save once, and at the end of 8 hours he just stands up and goes, nope, still going in there.
We can try to find out if we're bored.
Keep making
Anybody-
the save so you pass it.
If anybody
Okay.
can do that, it would be him.
Oh, there we go. 21.
Yeah, it just takes less than a minute. And give me a Constitution saving throw.
Barf all over Steely.
7.
And yeah, you have the same effect as you feel the distortion leave your body. You lose control. And you just throw up all over your lap and all over the floor in front of you as the magical effect leaves you. So yeah, Lucius, you give him the suggestion. You step out of the way, look at your watch for a few moments, then you hear the barfing.
Then Lucius will step back around the corner and drop the spell.
Okay?
You alright, Connor? Sorry to muddle with your mind a little bit, but someone needed to get control.
The man who still has 2 of your arrows in his body just apologized to you.
I mean,
Well, I mean, arrows are one thing, but meddling in someone's mind is not kosher.
Kind
I
of, you
am-
can recover half of those arrows, by the way, as normal.
Yay! All right, first thing I'm gonna do
Ow!
is take care of that.
just
I
reaches
mean-
down and yanks. Well, I think it would just be like one arrow because the first one got 10 hit points, and the second one was just kind of poking in a little bit.
Yeah, that's true. Well, one of them just sticking through his hat.
Connor very
So-
deliberately, as if though trying to maximize pain, pulls the arrows out of Lucius's chest. It says to him telepathically, "Thank you."
So Alex pulls out
Gives
the
a half salute.
alchemist jug, hands it to Gus, sets it to fresh water.
Lucius, you've been demoted to Quiver.
Gus is going to take 10 minutes and clean himself off.
Just get started. And Alex reaches into his scroll case and pulls out a scroll and a length of rope and casts rope trick.
Oh, this spell's never good news. What happens next?
The rope snakes up into a non-dimensional space, and everyone's free to climb inside.
Oh, you're just
What's
gonna
the,
go up
what's
into
the
it?
plan up in here?
Yeah.
What's the plan up in there, Alexander?
Well, this sticks around for an hour. I say we get a short rest. Rinse those two off before they go in, which the
That's
Badger
case.
and Gus, and climbs up the rope.
Is everybody climbing up the rope into the extra dimensional space to take a short rest?
Absolutely.
During that time, I'm going to cast. Oh, no, that requires material components, which I don't want to expend right now.
And I pull the rope up after us so that I believe the entrance is invisible, but let me double check that.
You can make it invisible.
Yeah, we can see through it. Attacks and spells can't cross through, into, or out of.
And over the course of the next hour, nothing disturbs the tunnel. It's very, very quiet. And when you look out to the extra dimensional space, you can still see the faces reaching out from the face room. And you may go ahead and take the benefits of a short rest if you like.
Do we have any magic items that are worth identifying at this point?
Can you identify that? Can you cast Identify on the liquid? See if that works.
I can give you the flask, yeah.
Yeah. Take a minute to cast Identify. Or 11 minutes, rather, since it's cast as a ritual.
I assumed you wanted spells back.
I can do that.
We had the
I only
short rest.
expended one spell, but it's fine.
Or
I do need to spend some hit dice after those arrows, though.
Identifying the vibrational liquid. It's magically charged, and it's attuned psionically.
Wish I knew what that means.
I'm trying to think of how much knowledge Lucius might have. I mean, he and Alex are probably bantering back and forth, and Alex would know at least what elithids are.
Mm-hmm.
The attunement on this liquid is designed to keep the blood in the room that you saw captive, to keep it there, and to keep it in a liquid form. Otherwise, it would drip off the ceiling, run down the walls, pool up in the floor, congeal, and then eventually just kind of turn to dust as it seeps away. The blood is that of some multitude of illithids. You can tell from the attunement on the little bit of magical liquid you have. Two conclusions you reach. One, the blood must be held in place for some purpose. People wouldn't do this just for laughs. And two, the orb that you found must have a counterpart somewhere else, relatively close by, and about equidistant from the blood fog, in order to hold the alignment together. If one or both of those was disrupted, the blood would be disrupted as well. So yeah, go ahead and take the benefits of a long rest. I think we'll also use this opportunity to take our Coffee
short
and
rest?
bagel break. Yeah, short rest. Don't take a long rest. My goodness. Unless he's casting catnap on everybody.
That still gives you a short rest, just does it in like 10 minutes or something.
Oh, then. And yeah, at the end of your short rest, rope trick will end, and you'll all just be dumped back unceremoniously onto the floor. I'm going to go ahead and put the blindfold on. Let's reconvene here at about 4:25.